The time has come for us to check out another artist on Twitter. This is somebody that has been posting very frequent art pieces, and it was actually an account that one of you guys sent to me. So let's delve in, and again, please don't send hate to any parties involved. So this is the account in question, and they joined Twitter May 2025. That on its own may not possibly be a red flag, but that is something you will see with a lot of the AI tracers, is that they will have a Twitter account that was made way after generative AI became popular, so after 2022. This account's first post was also June 23rd, so they have only been posting for like 2 months now. So we don't have any examples of their older work. And you can't really trace back any of their other works, like possibly, oh, maybe they had a different account because this is like a Chinese account. So maybe they existed on like Baidu or something by a different name. Well, the only name we have to go off of is this Suzushin Yuriko, which is actually the name of an anime character. So anytime you try to like search this person backwards, you can't find any instance of their artwork, but rather just this character. No previous history of artwork as well, as far as I can find. Again, that doesn't mean it doesn't exist. I just can't find it. They also don't post any sketches, any work in progresses, anything like that. No speed paints, and they upload artwork almost every day, if not like every other day. So the high frequency of posting artwork is also interesting, given the fact they have no background history of art as well. So all of these are a little like, I'm scratching my head, but the big one is, again, we got to take a look at the artwork. And again, right, we have to look at a lot of their pieces to really get a full tell, but there's already a whole bunch of red flags that I see. This is their very first artwork on June 23rd, and taking a look at the art piece, they mainly draw this character, their OC, which it's not a red flag if you only draw one character, your OC, by the way. People with OCs, all they do is draw their OC. Okay, that's totally fine, totally valid. I just want to point out the fact their OC's design is super simple, which is totally fine, right? White hair with, side bangs and red eyes, just like the anime character. But the point that I'm trying to make is that because there's no like fully identifying elements, it can be easy to go to AI and be like, generate me, white-haired character with red eyes, and get a result. Because one thing you will see with like AI prompters is that they're not good at drawing hyper-specific character design outfits or things with complex accessories, like OCs with complex accessories, outfits, hair, whatever, because the AI will fuck it up. That's one thing I just want to point out. But looking at this, she's got her fingers in a peace sign kind of pointed at her face. The thumb is supposed to be kind of tucked in here, but we have what looks like a phantom thumbnail visible. If this was the thumb, it would be way too short. So the hand anatomy is already looking a little interesting. Now again, fine to have some wonky hand anatomy. Hands are hard to draw, but let's look at some of their other artwork to really see. Next up, we have this drawing of their OC. The OC is standing inside a picture frame with their head like protruding out of the frame with white lilies blooming from behind them. If we zoom in a little bit on the piece, there is an oddity that's happening here with the bows in the middle. And if we zoom in really close, we can see it. These are some bow ties right in the front of the dress. You can see the loop for one of the bows, and the loop for the second bow actually melts into becoming the ruffle of the dress. Not to mention, if you visually follow the crisscrossing designs of the ties in the front, it doesn't actually line up properly. Like, these two ties are supposed to tie into here, and they just don't. But they do on the other side, which is kind of odd. So one of the tails for the ribbon becomes a super long shoelace. Like, it has that like plastic end for it that a shoelace typically has, but the other one doesn't have it. So the big one when it comes is like, are there AI artifacts? Are there other AI tells? And are there things that are like merging into each other, or other elements that are not things humans would draw? Like here by the hair, we have another oddity. She has white hair, right? And she's wearing like a sleep gown with white ruffles around the neck. And a strand of hair kind of folds on the shoulder, on the collarbone area. And it looks like it's melting into the ruffle of the neckline for the dress. That too is looking pretty odd to me. So this is already a little bit of red flags. It potentially could be human error, but it really has me scratching my head. Not to mention the ear looks kind of funny, but anatomy is hard to draw. But the ear cartilage is like protruding really far out. And there are people with this type of ear anatomy, but you will see they draw ears differently. Like here is another drawing, same OC, they're opening a fridge. What I find weird about this is the composition, because it looks like the character's opening a fridge, but behind them is an open fridge. So then is this a table? Possibly it's a table. It's like a really short table because the table ends here. But then we have more stuff stacked up here. So what is this stuff stacked up on? Also, the cake is melting. Look at the way the ear is drawn in this character. Same character, by the way, because all they mainly draw is their OC. It's very different. Also, note a comment that's asking if this is AI assisted. Another commenter says AI not so tough. What is also interesting, I find, is the lack of comments. 10K likes and only 3 comments. Like typically with like pretty art, you see like, you know, there's a lot more likes than comments, but they'll be like, oh wow, really pretty, da, da, I love your art style. This was so good. I want to eat your art. Only 3 comments is pretty sus. But on its own, again, not a red flag. It's only a red flag in context with everything else. Looking back at the fridge real quick, like the door of the fridge is shorter than the fridge itself. But this fridge door is taller than this fridge door. Come on, if you can draw this well, you can make the fridge doors the same height. Next up, we have this drawing. It's of a girl with red hair drinking some boba. She's wearing like sunglasses on her head, and the nose bridge is super off. The nose bridge is straight on one side, then curves down for the other glasses lens. And if it were to work that way, that would give you a situation where one lens is sitting like behind the other lens. No glasses has nose bridges that curve in this way, which would inset one of the lenses. This drawing is of their character from a lower angle. And if you look at this hand, they're wearing latex gloves. There's a thumb, and there's 1 knuckle, 2 knuckles, 3 knuckles, 4 knuckles, 5 knuckles, which would imply there's a total of 6 fingers on this hand. This one is of their OC with a bunch of like monster hands, I guess, like kind of like on her shoulders and stuff like that. But all the fingernails look normal except this one. This fingernail looks like a key on a keyboard, but every other fingernail is drawn perfectly. And mind you, look at all the hands. Look at all the hands. These are some complicated hand angles to draw, and they got them all correctly, but you couldn't get this middle finger's fingernail correct. Next up, we have this drawing of a short-haired girl riding a skateboard, and if we zoom in on the shoelaces, there's some weird stuff happening here. So the shoelace obviously comes out of an eyelet, but the thickness changes. The shoelace that comes out of the eyelet is super thin, and then suddenly it thickens into the thickness of a flat foldable white shoelace, which is odd. It looks like this is supposed to be the taped off end of the shoelace, that plasticky nub. So you might make the argument, oh, well, maybe this is the tail of the shoelace, and because she's riding a skateboard, it's flying this way. So it's obscuring the eyelet. It looks like it's going into the eyelet, but that's not the case. But that can't be possible because there's actually 3 tails to the shoelace. We have 1 tail here, a second tail here. This would then, in that context, be the 3rd tail for the shoelace. So that's also wrong. And again, these are not, mistakes that a human would make, I feel, right? These are like AI generated errors where I feel like AI was trying to make shoelaces, and then it was also trying to make the nub end, and it ended up making this. Another thing that's weird, she is wearing 2 like garters around her leg, like little belts, and the belt buckle situation that's happening here is really odd. It looks like somebody cut out and pasted like half the buckle on. This one is of their OC and another character from, I think maybe Arknights, I'm not quite sure, kind of like leaning over each other in a more intimate pose. What is weird is the hair. Because in their OC, their hair is kind of tied back in like a princess style, but they have long hair kind of hanging down. There's like a strand of hair that comes from the little tie, and then it kind of looks like it's draping over their shoulder, except for some reason a chunk of it makes a 90-degree angle and then starts going straight down. Hair doesn't behave that way. Not to mention, she's wearing a white hoodie with like 2 hoodie strings, right? That's fine. Why is there suddenly like a chunk of hoodie string coming from under her arm? Like, you ask the question, would a human draw this? Would a human put a hoodie string chunk coming out of her arm when her hoodie eyelets are all the way up here? This is another drawing of their OC in a black schoolgirl outfit. The hair is up, and I'm not quite sure what's happening with the hair over here. The hair looks like it's supposed to drape over her shoulder, but it's also kind of like merging and melting in a really weird way and combining way higher than where the shoulder is. Also, for some reason, there's a divot in the ear cartilage. Here, this is of a pink-haired character kissing another girl on the cheek, and we've got hair going down, looping, and then coming back up again. More looping hair back here. Like, what is happening with the hair? This one is interesting because this is a character from Arknights, and they actually draw this character twice, and they somehow got both of them slightly different, which is interesting because they literally posted it back to back. But there's a lot going on with this character. Like, there's a weird strap hanging from the center of their torso. It's not connected to anything. It's just hanging here. And also, like, this leg strap is not actually connected to the thigh high, and their thigh high is like double layered. There's another layer here, I guess. They literally posted it back to back, July 5th and July 6th. This is another one of the drawings of the exact same character, but now their outfit is slightly different. The leg straps are now very different. Instead of giving them red buttons, the leg strap now has holes in it. And instead of wearing this like high cut kind of like bikini line top, it now is kind of like a mini dress with like a straight bottom. So somehow the character isn't drawn the same, even though it's literally the same character back to back. This is something big that you'll see with people who generate characters with AI, is that they can't get the character design correct for the same character, especially if the outfit is quite complicated. They'll either draw the character in a simple outfit, or they'll get elements of their outfit incorrect, even though they've drawn this character very close together. This time, literally 2 art pieces back to back. Also, for this one, just look at the hair. like, I'm not sure what's happening with the hair here. Here, it's like a big circle for the hair. And then we continue onwards for more loops. And also, they'll get the character design wrong. Like here, look at the way the like strappage looks on the side of the jacket, and this is the way they drew it. If you can draw this well, you can draw the jacket roughly correct. This drawing of their OC, it looks like they're drawing them in a kimono of sorts, and there's a lot going on. So first off, we have the white hair draping over the shoulder and melting into the material for the kimono. More weird oddities happening with the hair. A big loop in the hair. The hand is drawn oddly in that it looks like there's like a pinky coming out of the top of the hand. And then we have like ropes dangling from the belt area of the kimono, and then they kind of tie back into the kimono. And then another one here where there's like this weird ropage happening out of the kimono, which is also just odd. And then all the cherry blossoms look really weird. Like the detail on the kimono looks really odd. This is not a stamp brush. These are supposed to be cherry blossoms and they don't have the same number of petals. This one has 4, this one has 5, this one has 6, 5, 7? Like, you telling me you don't know how to draw cherry blossoms correctly, but you can draw her this well? This one is really funny. This character is eating breakfast. They're kind of looking at you. This is a funny looking chair, but beyond that, there is like a carton of milk and it says M.YK on it, not milk. But to me, the most damning one is in the early post that this person posted, because remember, this person only started posting in the end of June. Well, in some of the artwork at the end of June, there's some real fuckery happening, notably the knees. What is happening with this knee? She's got 3 kneecaps going on. This is like the fleshiest, muscliest knee that I've ever seen. And it was not a one-off instance. There is this art piece of Miss Yamada from Smoking Behind the Convenience Store. Miss Yamada also has 3 kneecaps per knee. Come on. This to me is the most damning, if beyond everything else that I already showed you, because when you ask the question, would a human draw 3 kneecaps per knee on their character? The answer is gonna be no. Oh my lord. But another person had also commented under this person's artwork being like, hey, your account is fully AI generated photos, but your profile and posts are not flagged as AI. Please respect people around you and stop misleading. And they're circling the cherry blossoms on that kimono. So at the end of the day, what are your thoughts on this situation? My suspicion is that this is a new account that popped up that wants to like, you know, post some artwork to like establish their art style when in my opinion, it's AI generated. And they're probably going to rock up with a Patreon really soon to be pumping out even more artwork to get some money out of this. So just beware, guys. If you see a brand new account that hits all of these criteria, they popped up, you know, after Gen AI became really popular. So after 2022, they have no evidence of previous accounts associated with them anywhere. 3, they never post a work in progress. They never post a speed paint, etc. Right? And 4, they post artwork almost every single day. 5, they have Gen AI looking tells in their artwork, as in they're making decisions that humans typically would not make, like writing M.YK instead of writing milk. And 6, they're drawing the same character multiple times, except they're getting the character design wrong, piece by piece by piece. And again, I just want to add a big disclaimer. Real artists can do these things. There's real artists who just started drawing, so they won't have other examples of their art because they're new. There's real artists who just started posting. Maybe they've drawn for a long time, but they never use social media. There's real artists who can make art really fast, so therefore they post a lot. But you won't find somebody hitting every single one of these markers and also drawing 3 kneecaps per knee. Those are some pretty damning tells. If you just see 1 or 2, don't go around slinging accusations, you know, but maybe scratch your heads and make a note. And if you see them start checking all of these boxes, big red flag. So again, don't contact, don't bully, don't harass this person. But what are your thoughts on this? Do you think it's AI? Do you think it's legit? I personally think it's pretty obvious. It's pretty AI generated. With that, if you like this video, I appreciate it if you like and subscribe. Don't forget to check me out on Etsy. I have digital art there. I'm also trying to get my Instagram to 100K. So if you'd like to follow me there, that would mean a lot. I'm also on Spotify if you want to check me out there. And I stream on Twitch 3 days a week, Mondays and Saturdays at 6 p.m. PST and Thursdays at 7:30. I do a podcast with my friend there. So I hope to catch you all there or at another video. Peace.